Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Ron Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host is here with me in spirit. Hey, Trip, how you doing?
And in virtual form, dog, we viddy chatting. I'm doing good,
Yeah.
man. How are you? How are you surviving this whole outbreak right now?
It's not that hard, I don't think, at least for me.
Nah.
I'm usually indoors anyways.
Yeah. And this just gives us more excuses to watch Inuyashiki, Last Hero, the movie from 2018. Live action garbage coming at you. Here we are, 2010. Yeah.
It's been a while since we've done a live action garbage, so I'm
been a
really
minute.
excited.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'm doing good. I'm just trying to do stuff to not like get super bored. I recently got invited to play video games.
Yeah, it's fucking insane that you're a hardcore gamer now.
Yeah.
And I'm just a casual gamer right now.
Yeah, you're a fucking loser, dog. You don't even fucking, what is it? Is it frack?
Frag.
Frag. You don't even frag, dude. You're not even a fragger.
I've been roasting Juan lately, saying like, "Oh, dude, you fragging over there?" Because like way back in the day, like Unreal Tournament and Quake days, it was called fragging. I don't know why. It's just when you frag someone, you kill them.
I don't know, man. A buddy of mine who's in Seattle, who is like, on a more stricter lockdown than I am, hit me up and said, "Hey, man, like, do you want to play video games?" I was like, "Sure, I got a PlayStation. It's not even mine; it's Sierra's. I don't own a console,
Yeah,
right?"
no, she's a gamer.
And he's just like, "I'm really playing Modern Warfare, Warzone, which is like a BR, like a battle royale." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I got the game. It took forever to download because I'm so fucking dumb, dude. I was downloading it while you and
This
Sierra
cracked
were
me up so much, though. There are a lot of things that we're going to talk about that's just like dumb little things that blew up. So we're talking about more this week.
Because Trip was him and Sierra and Trip and everybody were like on like a Discord chat playing Animal Crossing because that's the new game that came out, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So I started downloading the game and you kept asking like, "Hey, am I playing the game yet?" And I was like, "No, it's still downloading." And I waited for a good long minute because there's a lot to download.
Yeah.
And then Trip's just like, "Oh, just Trip." And I say, "That's the normal thing, right? It takes a while to download stuff." And you go, "Yeah, I mean, games take a while to download, no biggie." And then I don't know, another huge amount of time passed again, and you're just like, "Hey, are you still waiting for this thing to download?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes like, "Are you like?" Are you doing like Wi-Fi? I was like, yeah. He's like, why don't you just fucking put an Ethernet cable in? I was like,
yeah, man.
Oh my God. I didn't even fucking realize.
Honestly, that might improve our video chat kind of delay or whatever, is if you used an Ethernet for it. I know that you're going off your laptop. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But there's like a little bit of delay that last week I had to fuck around pretty hard in order to get our audio to sync up together. And didn't even think of that until now. See, that's just the kind of thing that as a gamer I think of all the time when I'm gaming, but I don't apply it to anything else because that's a true game move right there.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll try to use my actual computer with an Ethernet cable.
Oh, dude, yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it's too late now. We already started the podcast.
RIP.
Yeah, so I plugged it in. After, actually, I had to come to my room and try to find an Ethernet cable that was long enough because when we got the new place, they sent us a new router with an Ethernet cable that's pretty short, but it was long enough to reach my computer, which is all I wanted.
Yeah.
But I remember at one point my router was on the other side of my room and I had to have the cable like run across the side of it. So I was like, I know I fucking have one. It's somewhere. So I looked everywhere. I found it and it just barely makes it from my room to the living room. And so I plugged that shit in and it downloaded. It took a while, but it still downloaded so much faster.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe I'm so fucking dumb. I'm over here just waiting like a fucking Goombas.
You got through it, baby.
Yeah.
So then we ended
up playing with a couple friends of mine, and they were a lot better than I am. I mean, not that they were like really good, but I'm just like not good at games.
You're just not used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun though. Like we had a good time like laughing, and they would like crack jokes about me sucking, and I would crack jokes ironically about them sucking, like, "Oh, you just got shot in the face, what a fucking loser." And they're like, "Shut up, Juan." I was like, "Yeah, well, whatever."
Honestly, you were being way more clever than that. I heard you a lot of the time. It was cracking me up hearing you.
He's being a bro, dude,
Well, it was interesting because I liked the way that you handled it, and I think this is something that a lot of people don't do well. When you don't play video games with people or aren't familiar with a certain genre or whatever, you can go into it a few different ways, and I really liked how you did it, being like, okay guys, you'd like know that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being like really over the top about everything, you were asking questions and still being like, of course, yeah, no, I know how to do that. We're just gonna drop over here at exactly this location that I definitely know. And like they would tell you, and you would ask good questions though, because they would be like, oh, drop over here, and you're like, how do you know what it's called? And they're like, just read the name. And I'm like, what the fuck is that kind of a response? The map is fucking enormous. There are a bunch of different names and locations on there. How do you know that this is a good spot to go to? Like, how do people learn this shit? Because I've come into battle royales late, and I don't know how people learn it. But
yeah, it's funny because like, you know, you play a bunch of matches because obviously we don't ever win one, so you know we never last super long.
Yeah, it's just
but every time there's that, like, I always ask, hey, where are we gonna drop? And then they'll be like, they kind of sit there and kind of ponder for a couple seconds, and they go, let's go to the quarry. Yeah, quarry's pretty good. And then we'll get to the quarry and we get obliterated. And then they go, man, that always happens at the quarry. And I was like, okay. And then we'll do another round, and they go, hey man, let's do lumber. Yeah, let's do lumber. And we'll do lumber. And then we get fucked at lumber. And I'm just like, and I go, oh, I just realized they're just talking out their ass. They have no idea where to fucking go.
No.
Which is great because then I don't feel as bad about it.
Yeah,
and
you shouldn't feel bad at all.
We'll play, and you know, I do along the way. I'll pick up like, hey, like, how do I crouch? Like that was a big thing, and they're like, and they go hit the hold on, X is at the bottom, triangles at top, the circle. They hit the circle.
Hey, good job, dude. You worked.
Yeah, I'm learning. So I hit the circle and I crouch, and I go, oh, dope. This is very convenient. You know, now I can not just stand in the open like an idiot. Great. So whenever I feel really good whenever I spot someone and I've learned to ping them, like, oh, there's a bad guy over there, boop. Ping him. And I go, nice. Even if I don't actively kill him, I help the team out.
Yeah, you showed them where they are. That's a huge part of it, is having that situational awareness. So you're essentially a scout, is what I understand.
They call me bait. They go, just go out there and move around.
I know that they call you bait, but you're more of a scout if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm the master of baiting. For sure. I'm the best at it.
Absolutely.
But my favorite thing, I think, was last night I was playing with Adrian and a friend of his who's also from Seattle. And he we were playing, and we drop at the storage, like a mini storage unit, you know, like one of those places where you put your stuff or whatever.
I've heard.
And it was it was a lot of fun because like that place is like it feels very like mazy because like, you know, like there's like a bunch of rows and shit. So we're landing and we're fighting and it's going insane and we're like all doing crazy well, and I'm communicating super well. I was like, yo dude, right there, you know, left, you know, right. And we're like, I got you, and picking people up, and like it's like 4 minutes of just mayhem. And then we like end up like surviving, and I go, oh my God, that was so great. And like we're walking and stuff. And then Adrian's friend Nathan goes, hey Juan, you got a mic on? Because you're really quiet right now. And I looked down at my mic and I realized I'd muted it because I was eating Cheetos before.
Oh man, so they didn't even hear you doing anything.
So I was like, oh my God. And I unmuted. I was like, yo guys, my bad. Like, I want you to know that I was communicating the whole time. Like I was letting you know where they were at. I was pinging people. I was like doing so well, but I was eating Cheetos like 2 seconds before the match started, and I turned it off because I didn't want them to hear my crunching be polite.
That's just a big gamer move, doing that exact same thing. It's a faux pas that happens nonstop.
So yeah, that was like, it was a lot of fun. It was super embarrassing, and it's you know, we don't take it too serious, I think, you know, which is great because it's just a stupid game. So
it's fun. It's just boys.
So I've learned to appreciate more games. I mean, you know, even though we joke about me not liking video games, I will play video games.
Oh yeah, you're not opposed to it. It's just that game seems a lot more. I don't really know how to put it. Intense, I guess, or like too fast paced. Like it requires a lot of knowledge about video games before being able to get into it really easily. So when you said you were playing that, I was like, what in the fuck? Like you're playing a high intensity multiplayer like action game. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, as opposed to like playing like, you know, that was like instead of taking baby steps. Yeah, you know, I took a giant leap.
Yeah, no, it's nuts.
But I started playing the campaign also because it's fun. And then me and Adrian will do, when people are tired of playing like because some of the other guys only want to do battle royales, we'll play like missions and stuff. And it's like cool. It's like kind of like practicing and stuff. So I'm learning to enjoy it. I don't think like I'm addicted. I don't find too much joy in murdering people.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that I have a problem with as far as like realistic looking games go. I'm like, that's just like a soldier. I don't like that feeling. You know?
Yeah, it is very violent, but it's fun. So I mean, it is what it is. I don't know how long I'll be a super hardcore gamer.
Long enough.
You know,
whenever.
But I'll wait for hopefully the quarantine will end and I'll be able to go back to my simple life of playing pocket tanks with my friends. So, what about you, man? What have you been up to?
Honestly, it's been a ton of Animal Crossing, a little bit of Monster Hunter because there was an update. My sister came into town and I've been trying to isolate as much as possible, even though I've had work here and there. Work was canceled and then she needed to come by on Sunday night and stay the night with me. And I really didn't want her to, just because I've been really good about not interacting with fucking anyone. And I'm like, I don't know what she's been up to. She's been in Arizona. I think Arizona's been pretty safe overall, whatever. So she came over and stayed the night. And man, I was not fucking stoked about that. But it was a good time. We watched They Came Together, which is a movie that I've talked about in the past with Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler, directed by David Wayne and written by Michael Showalter.
Is that the rom-com we were talking about the other day?
Yeah, it's the rom-com spoof.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so funny. So we watched that and had a great ass time with it. One of my favorite things is that there are some lines that are just like, they're so well delivered. It feels so authentic. Like the whole movie is very over the top. It's like really out there kind of ridiculousness. But then every once in a while, some weird, ridiculous, fucked up thing happens. Like Amy Poehler's whole family is like white supremacists. And Paul Rudd's finding that out for the first time. And they're all talking about how much better whites are than everyone else and how their like bloodline is pure. And he's just sitting there and then he just goes, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Just like, it felt so just, he's completely overwhelmed and shocked with the most fucking insane thing he's ever heard. I loved it. Amazing delivery. Just great movie. It's got lots of funny things. Everyone should watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. And when I say everyone, I mean people that like ridiculous over the top comedies, and you have to go into it knowing that it has some kind of like tasteless jokes here and there, just because, you know, the boss of a company pooping his Halloween costume and saying he didn't do that. He was taking a shower. Somebody must have taken his suit and pooped in it while he was taking a shower. That
pretty
was,
classic.
Yeah, classy shit like that. And like fucking your grandma and stuff like that. It's top tier. And let's see. I also hung out with Tom, my good pal Tom from Ohio, who's been working in the medical field while all this corona shit's going on. He decided to somehow take a flight all the way back to California, and I know, I'm like, what? You fucking know the implications of flying during this time. What the hell? And
you actually saw Tom in person?
Yeah, we hung out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's horrible. What are you doing? You're doing a horrible job of social distancing yourself.
This one's perfect though. So he's been working in a hospital, so he's very aware of like how to stay safe and free of everything. Using his elbows to, you know, turn like knobs and shit, like doing crazy people things, because he's super cautious. Anyways, he came into town. He's doing pretty good. Diana also came. She's doing pretty good. But Tom came over I came over to his place and we went on a walk through the park while staying 6 feet apart consistently. One of us is walking in the road because, you know, no cars are in the fucking road right now. The other person's walking in the grass, keeping that distance, you know. It was good. It was a nice time, and he's doing pretty good. He's heading to Sea Ranch. This time they're driving, so it's okay. And they're going to stay in their family's like vacation home for a bit, which is cool. And then he came, and he's actually borrowing a mic stand that I had, a spare one. So I was like, hey man, I haven't used this. It's just a spare, so you should be totally safe. But when you give it back to me, you clean the fuck out of it. Like, do not screw me on this. He's like, I'm just going to be sanitizing the whole drive. You're all good, man. Don't even worry about it. You're all good.
How long is he going to be in Sea Ranch for?
I don't know.
And his parents still live in the same like apartment complex.
Yeah, they're living here. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's dope.
Well, actually, this is pretty funny. So his dad sent me a text and he's like, hey, Chris, how are you doing with everything? I came by the office and I saw the note on the door. Just wanted to check in with you, see if you're doing all right and stuff. And then he also went on to say, like, you know, Tom's coming, as I'm sure you know. Also, my wife, Julie, is in Hawaii right now with with my daughter and her fiance. And yeah, they are stranded in Hawaii. What a bad place to quarantine.
No fucking way. They're really stranded there?
I don't think so, but they're not gonna risk coming back during this time.
That's so crazy.
They're quarantined in Hawaii.
Sierra's
I
dad
know.
and Sierra's dad's, in quotations, friend.
Yeah, his friend. Yeah.
they had plans to go to Hawaii, and I was like, I just kind of figured they weren't gonna go. Sierra goes to family dinner, comes back, and she has like puka shells around her necklace. I mean, there were those cocoa bean necklace things.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, oh, if you're wondering, my dad gave me this. He went to Hawaii. I was like, what? He actually went? Like, what the fuck? So she's like, yeah, I think they went. And I think their Hawaii trip wasn't as great as they'd hoped to be. He's like, no shit. Fucking everything's closed.
Yeah, everything. It's... I love it.
Crazy.
That's so funny. But yeah, no, yeah. So they're in Hawaii, so good for them. It's fucking rad to be there. Yeah, and as far as like TV stuff goes, I haven't been really watching any TV. I've watched anime, so that's been good. But I've just been playing a lot of games, my dude. It's been so much fun.
I've been consuming some media that is mostly not anime.
Okay.
I watched The Hunt, which is a movie that's
I was going to ask you how that was when I heard you guys watched it, but then Sierra never answered, so I didn't care. And you were already fragging hard.
Yeah, I was probably fragging pretty hard. Because I'm a gamer. Gamer's going to do what gamer's going to do, and that's game.
True.
So The Hunt's a movie that's like currently out in theaters. It got pushed back from being released last year because of I guess the content and the time that it was supposed to drop was inappropriate. Like there was a school shooting or something like that. Probably. But it's essentially it's like battle royale, kind of like, you know, in this scenario, like humans are hunting other humans. The twist is in this movie that like the people who are hunting are like not who you would imagine. So it's a bunch of liberal people hunting a bunch of like very conservative people, you know?
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where like you sit there and you go, this really got made, huh? You know, like a scene will happen. You go, oh, that was pretty cool. And then like dialogue comes in afterwards and you go, wow, really? They made them say those words, huh? So it wasn't like great. It was entertaining at points, and at points it was really dumb. It's like worth a watch. I wouldn't recommend like renting it at the full cost that I rented it, because it's,
that's what I saw. I was like looking it up and I'm like, 20 fucking bucks. I mean, I get it's the price of 2 tickets to go see the movie anyways. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly. So when I was like, well, like it means Sierra 2 tickets, that's about, you know, what it costs. And I was like, I was going to see this in theaters anyways. I was like, I'll go for it, you know?
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
But I feel like if it was you in your, you know, apartment by yourself and like $20 for this movie, you should just wait.
Well, it was going to be me and my sister, but yeah, any individual should wait.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, fun time, crazy dumb stuff happening, entertaining. Also not the best though. So but
instead,
I don't regret it.
You should rent Onward, which you can now do.
Yeah, which I also got to see, which is also really good.
Oh fuck, it's so good. I mean, we talked about it last week.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But man, it's fucking good. Everyone should go see that.
I saw a really cool video about them breaking down like the Pixar breaking down like their development over time about like textures and like clothing and stuff. Because
man, ever since Monsters Inc., that shit has blown my fucking mind.
Well, yeah, no, like the video that I was watching was super cool because they were saying essentially like they've like every time like they make a new movie, like they had to build something to make that movie work. Like they had to make a big simulation for like characters with fur, you know, their hair and stuff.
Yeah.
So when they were talking about Onward, they're saying like this movie right here like picks what we made for, you know, what's it called, Coco, and what we made for Brave, like those two different tools together was what made us be able to make this. Like he goes, if we didn't have those two movies before that, we couldn't make this. You know, kind of like showing an evolution of like technology and stuff.
Interesting, yeah.
It was a real cool time because like one of my favorite things about like Pixar movies is like visually the way it looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like if you pause any scene, like you just like you kind of just nitpick anything. You go, holy shit! Like his like jean jacket has like threads that are like frayed or on it, you know, whatever. So it's super cool. So I watched Hunt the Hunt. I also watched Sierra and I just finished this really shitty reality TV show on Netflix called The Circle.
Yeah.
No. We watched. It's called Love Is Blind.
Yep,
I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
It's not as fun as The Circle, if I'm being honest. Like The Circle had a lot better sound bites.
Because my friends have been saying like, oh fuck, Love Is Blind is so fucking good. Y'all need to see it.
I don't think it is, honestly. Like there's like moments where you go, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But it's very reminiscent of like,
what's the plot?
What's the plot? What's the story?
Yeah, essentially, give me the gist of it.
Essentially, it is. I think it's 20 people, maybe something like that. You know, get put into rooms like houses, and they're separated, boy and girl, whatever. And then they get to meet in these like confessionals, these pods that have like they share a wall, and then you can talk through the wall, but you're not allowed to visually see the person. So they have, I think, 2 weeks to get to know each other, and then within the 2 weeks you're essentially supposed to propose to someone, and then you have 30 days, and then in 30 days you're supposed to get married. And they're trying to prove whether the theory that love is blind is real or not. You know, it's just really, it's very reminiscent of like that early reality TV show, like, you know, drama kind of stuff. You go, oh my God, I can't believe that happened, blah, you know, but in a more woke culture, like a like time period that we're living, like a more, actually this was filmed in 2019, but more 2020 appropriate. Like,
well, still, I feel like, oh, my screen's turned off because I'm just fucking sitting here. Sorry. I'm not used to this whole setup. It's being weird. Anyways, yeah, I feel like in our day and age, there are a lot of things that we're saying and handling differently than we did just a few years ago. And it's
for sure.
So cool seeing that happen like in front of me. Because you hear about all these things from the past and you're like, oh yeah, times are way different back then and whatever. And it's like, it only takes a couple of years and shit's so different now. I love it. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, one of the best examples is like in the show, there's like a couple that, you know, they decide to get engaged, and when they see each other, I guess they discover that they're interracial, like one's black and one's white or whatever, and they go, well, like we have to figure out how to traverse this in the real world. And there's a lot of like, I guess on both, I mean, honestly it was more on her side. She had some like worries about, well, she's never been with a white guy before in her life, and she'd never even brought like a man home, so she had a lot of like, you know, will my family accept him, will he be able to like handle, you know, the stigma that we'll have being an interracial couple or having interracial children, like a bunch of stuff. And him, in his mind, he was just like, well, I've dated, you know, a black woman before for several years, you know, he was like, I'm ready and used to this. I'm super excited to get married. Like he was like one of my favorite guys in the show. He was like a really nice dude.
Yeah.
And so when the biggest fear was like her meeting her dad. And so when they went and met, like they kind of set it up to be like, holy shit, this dad's about to rip him a new one, you know? And the dad's just like, cool, man. Like, you know, you're white. And she's just like, yeah. He's just like, you know, she's black. So cool. He's like, all right, well, she loves you, I like you, we'll be cool. And I was like, oh, cool. It's as simple as that. You know, maybe 20, 30 years ago, it would have been like a huger deal.
No, it would have been a huge deal.
But now in this day and age, it's like everything seems to be like, people are more aware of like of just everything, you know,
they're
more open to shit.
There are good people out there and there are bad people out there. And it's not a blanket thing is kind of what more people are starting to realize.
So if you like reality TV shows and stuff, like, yeah, go ahead, watch it. I don't regret watching it. It was a fine, like, kind of dumb thing for me and Sarah to watch together. Yeah. So I got to watch that. What else have I seen? I caught up with Better Call Saul.
Hell yeah.
Dude, it's fucking great. I need you to watch the show. Did you watch the show?
No.
You promised you'd watch the show.
I did promise that when I thought I didn't have work.
You son of a bitch. Quit your job. How hard is that? They can't evict you. We know the rules. They can't evict you.
Yeah, I really wanted to watch it, and I said, like, I promise I'll watch it by the time I record. And then it turns out I worked, and I should not have made that promise because I made the promise assuming I would be able to watch it at work.
Well, anyways, it was really good. I don't want to spoil any of it for you. but I am enjoying it a lot. I don't know where it's gonna end. Like I'd hope this season is like at least 12 episodes, right? Like that's kind of like
10 to 12. I don't know what they normally do.
I think we're like 6, maybe 7 in, but it feels like they're not, because this is supposed to be their last one.
Is it going into Breaking Bad, or does it feel like it's kind of...
It is bleeding more over because like we're seeing, I think, what's his name? Gustavo and like Mike, their relationship is like, you see it's kind of starting to build towards the direction of where they are now, like trying to get a better understanding like of where they are when Breaking Bad starts, you know? And then we've ASAC, fucking, you know, Schrader, we got to see him back, and he's like, we're seeing him and you know, Gomez, you know, they're both in it for this most recent episodes, and we're seeing how Saul Goodman is being involved with like the like underground of like protecting or being the lawyer for like cartel people or whatever. So it's like we're for sure heading the right direction, but it almost feels like there's so much more to tell. Just because like they're starting like you know how they start new shit, like this is like a new storyline that they'll start. Yeah. And I go, how are they going to wrap this up within time? I'm sure they'll figure it out, but I'm really excited. Also, I don't know if you know this, but like the last 4 episodes of Steven Universe Future is going to drop pretty soon.
I haven't watched the most recent 4.
Okay, well the last 4 are going to come out pretty soon.
Yeah. Oh, I know it's ramping up because Steven's just like full on pink boy from what I understand. Yeah, just full of all these emotions.
Being a little bitch. Yeah. It's okay. That's inappropriate. I'm sorry. That's 2019 Juan speaking. That's inappropriate. 2021 should be more appropriate. He's being a little bitch. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then lastly, for my fantasy football in Survivor, I went from 7th place last week. I'm in tied for 3rd, baby.
Whoa.
What? Yeah.
So you were climbing the ranks one at a time. And what the fuck? This is a jump.
Yeah, dude, I'm fucking working it. Who got voted out last week? I think last week was a double eviction.
Tyler.
Double. That was 2 weeks ago. That was Tyson. And then the week before that was Boss Rob. And then this week, I think it was 2 people. I think it was Sandra and Poverty, who are like 2 super huge heavy hitters in the game. Such a good fucking time. I'm so excited for this fucking show, dude. Like, tomorrow, which is also the day this thing airs, is like one of my favorite days of the week. Oh, and I passed my first class. I forgot to mention that. I've been stressing a lot about that because thank you. I've been working really hard, you know, for my introduction to animation. I did kind of scoff at it, but honestly, I've learned a lot. Like I for sure improved what I already knew.
One thing you've learned.
I learned how to open and close Maya appropriately. It's like the easiest thing to do.
You know, it's important though. It's important.
I know how to save stuff, you know. Command S. Boom, roasted. Yeah. No, but just like anything, you know, like you get graded and stuff, and sometimes you don't get the grade that you want or that you think you deserved, and you kind of feel bad. Like I got like during the semester, I got like a couple grades that were like one was a D and then like one was like a low C, and they said, hey, these are failing grades. And I was like, ooh, like hearing that like really hurts. Like it makes you feel bad, you know? And I was like, all right. So I like picked up my haunches. I was like, I'm going to fucking work at it. So
I still kept trying. Sorry. Go. Yeah. Sorry.
No, yeah. So I kept working at it and, you know, kept trying to improve it. And I got the grades up and stuff and turned in my last assignment. I got the message saying like, hey, congratulations, you can go to the next class. So I'm like super stoked. I can't wait for next class, which is like in a couple weeks to keep learning and improving my stuff. So
dude, I'm stoked. Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I am also stoked. We are both stoked.
Look at us.
That is our Instaramen stance. Stoked.
Yeah. Hella stoked.
What were you going to say?
The grading system's so fucking stupid. Why the fuck is a D a failing grade? It should just be F. Just get rid of D then.
Sorry, guys.
Go straight to flunk.
I forgot that Trip hates the education system.
God, so much. Like, I was looking back at school and I was thinking like, man, for myself, I would have had such a better time with school if there was no like homework or these kinds of like tests. If there are assignments, I'm okay with assignments. Because that just means like you have to do a little bit extra of something. But if it's just like this is just some shit you got to do to reinforce what you learn, like I oppose that so much with every part of my being. So I was thinking about school because I was watching an anime, Asteroid in Love, and it was going back and talking about like geology and how they were like boring for stuff. And then they expressed like how cool that was by making a tiramisu that people could come and get and like put a straw in it to bore the tiramisu, and you could see all the different layers. And I'm like, that fucking shit is the perfect kind of education where it gives you a really fun thing and it kind of shows you a little bit more about the real process of doing this and learning about the earth. I'm like, that's so fucking cool. But instead they're like, this is a word that you have to remember. Good luck. That was my education.
I'm sorry that you can't go to school in a Japanese anime. I know that's all you ever wanted.
I'm just saying that there are a lot of instances. That's just the most recent example. But there are a lot of instances of showing you like really cool things. Like there are the physics professors, and it's a lot of like chemistry and physics and shit. They get to do all the cool stuff, of course. But you know, you hold the ball on a chain like right in front of your chest, and you're like, all right, fucker, don't move your head. Otherwise it'll smash you to pieces. But if you just sit still, it's not going to hit you. And they let go and it goes right up to the person's nose and it goes away and it doesn't hit them. They're like in awe. And, whoa, it's so cool. And chemistry professors get to light shit on fire and be like, see, different elements do different things because they burn at different temperatures and sometimes like certain things. And it just has all these different elements that they could really talk about of that specific field. And in my education, I didn't get fucking anything cool.
Trip's so riled up, like he's like bouncing. I can feel like the webcam shake. I'm like, is there an earthquake? No, it's Trip just fury coming through the.
God damn it. Yeah, I don't know. Like the best classes that I had in school were the ones that you could tell that the professors were really engaged. I had a like music history class, which was fucking amazing, and I had life in the universe, which was also fucking amazing. That one was essentially just, here are all the different sciences and here are how they are applied to astronomy, and here's how that's all applied to the theoretical life of another planet. And then it goes into that. And it was a fun class. It was really cool. And it was something that was unique that they were passionate about. And I feel like that doesn't happen much in the education system. And D's shouldn't be failing grades. It should just go straight to F. You know?
Yeah. Well, anyways, I passed my class, so it's pretty good.
I'm so stoked for you.
Thanks, Doug.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all the stuff that I think watched. I didn't really get around to watching an anime. I wanted to, and didn't do it though. Yeah. But I have made a list of animes that I'm going to watch. Besides the ones that are like currently airing, I've made a list of like, these animes are animes that I've for sure put away, like to the side, that I can like watch within this time that I'm not allowed to do anything, you know?
What ones?
It is not going to be Eureka 7. Didn't make the list. Sorry, it's too long.
That's fine. It's 50 eps. I get it.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to spoil it because I want to share it with you next week.
Well, I would like to maybe participate because if I
wind up working from home, you don't get to participate. No.
Oh my god, this is so fucking dumb. I'm gonna quit the fucking bad attitude. I'm just gonna accept it.
How you doing, man? What animes have you been watching?
I don't want to get into anime. I want to talk about video games.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about Animal Crossing because I really love it.
I know, that's what cracks me up. It's incredible. Anybody that's on the fence about getting it should just fucking get it. Each day, I find new cool things that are happening in the game that you could do. Like now I'm customizing my shit, painting it different colors, really getting my home to look like my home. Decorating the outside of it. It's great. Got new villagers moving in. The museum is fucking incredible in this game. It looks like a real ass museum. It's got a real ass fucking aquarium. It's got a great little area where you can walk through like a butterfly room and just like some nice naturey places and see all these bugs. And then the first thing that I did in the museum is I went down the fossils area. There's a small area in the corner that shows an asteroid hitting the Earth. And I'm like, holy shit, this is so fucking cool that they made this little model in here that shows the destruction of all life. And I was super into just how much detail there was in every little thing. And I keep finding more and more compliments about the game. It's fantastic. I think everyone should get it. Boom. Great. It looks beautiful. It's fun.
I don't think I just don't get it, man. Like, we've talked about like what you guys, what the actual game is and like what you do. And I'm not knocking it's not fun, because you guys are fucking loving it. Like,
so much.
Hearing you guys over Discord yelling of like, "Oh my god, I caught a fucking tuna!" Like losing their goddamn minds, or like trying to find a tarantula. Like Kate's fucking dead set that there's no fucking tarantulas anywhere.
My favorite thing in the world was the other night we were playing, and then Kate's talking about tarantulas and stuff again, and then suddenly we just hear her go like, "Ah, I think it's a tarantula. How do you catch it again?" And she goes up and she's trying to catch it, and we can't see her, but she's like being all quiet. And then suddenly she just screams. She's like, "Ah!" And it just cuts off. And we're like, what just happened? She was just so genuinely screaming. She's like, "I missed and it jumped on me and I was scared."
Yeah, but so there's no denying that the game is for sure fun.
It's really fun.
But what you do in the game, like, it doesn't sound like appealing to me. Like I don't even know what because you do everything, right? You fish, you chop wood, you
okay. So there are different goals. It starts out and it's like, hey, choose where shit's gonna go on this island, and then they're like, I'm gonna make you a house, but it will cost some money. But I know you don't have any money right now, so let's just say you go and do some shit, and I'll credit you some miles. He has like a rewards program where you could fly for miles and shit like that and use it for purchasing. Anyways, it's like, go get some of that, come back to me, and that'll be your house debt paid off. And you pay that off, and he's like, now I need some real fucking cash, so make sure to go do that. Also, we're going to need to set up the museum, and we're going to need this amount of stuff for it, and we're going to need to set up a shop, and we need this amount of things, and then we have to set up other people's houses, and we need this amount of things. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to go start hitting rocks to get some stones and some irons and some clays. I'm going to chop trees to get softwood, regular wood, and hardwood. I'm going to go do all this stuff. And you just like have a checklist of things that you need to do and different ways to get money. And everything you do gives you credit towards more miles or just more achievements. You unlock titles, so you get to like name yourself something different. I am a flightless floaty thing. That is my passport name. Chris, flightless floaty thing. And I don't know, man. It has so many different things to do. Fishing tends to be the most profitable for us, so we're all just kind of doing that while also trying to fill our museum with fish. So when somebody gets a tuna, that's a super rare fish. It's so uncommon to get it. You can only get it in one place, and it's really rare. So that's why people freak out over tunas. And then there are other things. There's something called an oarfish, which a lot of people don't know what that is.
That's the really long one?
Mm-hmm. So it's a real world fish. So I knew exactly what it was. And I know that they're in Animal Crossing from the very first one, because that's the only one I've played aside from this. And Kate screams, she's like, "What the fuck? I just got this crazy fucking fish. It looks like a dragon." And I'm like, "Is it an oarfish?" And she's like, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" And I'm like, they're a fish. I just know it.
Yeah.
And then today she was talking about how her husband just caught a couple of oarfish. He just started playing it or something like that. And then she's like, "Yeah, what the fuck is up with this?" And I'm like, yeah, so oarfish are actually a real fish, and they're deep sea ocean fish, but then they rise to the surface when they're about to die and they get closer to the shore. So a lot of sailors would see them back in the old days of folktales, and they would see these things that they would call sea monsters. And that's how these giant sea monsters came to be, is because of these enormous fucking otherworldly fish that look monstrous. And it turns out that they look that fucked up because they're supposed to be at the bottom of the ocean with all that pressure, you know? And then she's like, "Are you a real life owl from the museum in this game? Like, how do you fucking know that?" I'm like, I just like fish. Fish are cool. Don't want to eat them. Man. You know, they're not tasty, but they're cool.
I've come to the conclusion, because like it's not just, I see it firsthand with you guys.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And then I've seen it a lot on my Instagram. A lot of people who like I follow, who like artists or animators or stuff.
It's
They're
cute
also
as fuck.
they're also a lot of them are playing, so they'll post stuff. I get it. It seems like a fun game, and I've learned, I've wised up. It's a vibe apparently, right?
It
like
is
that's
a
what
vibe.
it is.
It is a vibe.
People are just vibing, and I just don't get it.
So,
and I don't think I ever will.
No, and that's okay.
Yeah.
One thing that I feel like is really important that a lot of people don't get to do anymore is play demos. I feel like playing a demo is a great thing, or giving it a try at a friend's house or something like that. Whenever you're able to do that, it brings a whole different level of appreciation to that kind of a game or genre. So like Fire Emblem, I never thought that looked interesting, but everyone's super stoked about this new game. And I'm like, you know what? I'll go into it. I'll give it a really honest, open shot. And I didn't like the most recent Fire Emblem. I played it for a little bit and was like, the gameplay is very simplistic and it doesn't challenge me in the way that I like to be challenged, but it is challenging. Although I feel like a lot of it is just RNG. There's also a little bit of tactic to it, but there's just, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. It's not satisfying, where other people fucking love the gameplay. There are certain things that just aren't for people, man. So I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, but I'm not going to shit on your game. I understand that you guys are having fun, and good for you guys.
Yeah, man, it's all about having fun. Honestly, I don't care what anyone does with video games as long as they're having fun. I hate whenever people are playing games and just getting fucking mad at it. Like League of Legends. People play League of Legends and get so fucking mad, and I'm like, why are you playing it though? I know it's really satisfying to win, and that's why they're getting so mad, but I'm like, if you're not consistently having fun, what's the point? Like, even when I lose, I should feel like, ooh, that was challenging, that was fun,
Yeah, I agree for sure.
That's how I feel about it. But anyways, that's my little game rant. Monster Hunter came out with some new updates. They had these old monsters that now have stronger forms. One of them is this big ol' like T-Rex that punches shit, and he has a slime mechanic where his slime explodes, so he'll coat his fists with slime, and then everything he punches leaves slime behind. This dude got fucking huge. Turns out his slime is like almost instantly explosive now. And then he has phases to this fight. So you chase him like from one room to another till he finally winds up in one. He runs in the middle of the room and starts pounding the ground nonstop, and like everything's shaking. It knocks like all of these different stalactites onto the ground, and it blocks your path out of the room. So you can still get in, but you can't get out because they're kind of like jagged and pointed. And he just starts fucking throwing slime everywhere, and then he screeches, makes it so you can't move, and explodes like the whole fucking room. You have to be standing in a tiny little patch of like safety in order to live. We played it for about 2 hours, wound up giving up, or I had to wind up giving up because my sister was coming in, and I wasn't going to be like, hey, I'm just going to beat this real quick. And it turns out it took Kyle and Sam 2 more hours to beat that. We didn't even get to try the other one. Monster Hunter is brutal, dude. So I guess that's pretty much my gaming time. I'm sure I played other things. I played some Doom here and there. Not Doom Eternal, but Doom 2016. And it's been fun.
All right, man. Let me know what animes you've been able to watch.
All right. So let's go down with Somali and the Forest Spirit. Somali's about to be 8. Like, we were saying she was about to be 8 last time. But they don't know that yet. So Somali and her dad, the Golem, and a couple of Onis are all hanging out together. And then they realize, oh, fuck, these motherfuckers are coming to eat Somali, because they like run into some other people that are like, oh man, what? There's no humans here. What are you talking about? Anyways, there's a whole thing. Somali gets captured. They're running off, trying to be safe. And then she's being like held down, and she's about to be killed and eaten. And then Golem, who's locked in another area, decides to go like full weapons mode, and he's about to kill them all with his like crazy arm. And his arm breaks off because he's old and dying. Right? And then I thought that might be the end of the episode, and I was like, oh, that would be a fucked up cliffhanger. But no, instead he goes fucking insane, and he like does the same thing with his other arm, and he like bulks up all big, and he's just ready to fucking murder everything. And this is the cute slice of life show from the beginning of the season where we're like, I really like the environments. I want to see more of this. And now it's at the point where it's like, fuck, dude, shit's getting really dark. Y'all are being for real crazy right now. So that was a good time. Watch some Asteroid in Love. It's just a charming little fun time. I like it a lot. It's not one of those things that's like, oh yeah, you have to see this kind of thing. But it's just a very chill slice of life show. So I'm just having a good time. We're learning about the Earth. We're learning about the universe. It's pretty cool. Also, their eyes are fucking gorgeous. Like, they did such a good job with these eyes. They've got like 100 colors in them. It's nuts. Let's see. My Hero Academia. Ever heard of it? No. I didn't watch the most recent one because I think it came out like a day or two ago. It was Deku was ending his fight with Gentle. Is the last one that I saw. And it was a lot of fun. It was just a super big, fun fight time. Because he got to go, Gentle got to go like full turbo. So it's pretty neat. Very, very fun characters that have... Gentle got a really good backstory. And I was pissed because I'm like, well, if you started Gentle's character arc with something like that, I would have been pulled into him right away, and I would want to know every part of it. And then you could bring that back up at that point. But I didn't give a fuck about Gentle until like a few episodes ago. I don't know.
That's how they get you, Doug. That's how they get you. Yeah. Remember you were talking about it, and you were like, oh, these stupid ass villains. And I remember really going, cool. I really like them.
Yeah.
But, okay.
They sucked so much at the beginning at like making them interesting. Instead, they were just like, look at these fucking YouTube goofballs. They're villains. And I'm like, I hate this. They feel like they're from another show. And then finally, when it gets to that point of like, you know, a little bit more about them, it gets really interesting. But it took a really long time to get there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like them. So
yeah, they're great. Fantastic.
I'm glad that you came around to them. That's good.
Well, yeah, you just needed to make them interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of just show them be like fucking weirdos on a rooftop, like we're gonna fucking be evil. And then I didn't understand what their gist was. And yeah, got good. So let's see. Keep your hands off Eizouken. The last one that I watched was one where they were going around getting like sound for shit. They were recording sound effects.
Is that the one where they're like recording, like they go on bike rides and they go like across the way and like they imagine like, yeah, and like she's not the president, she's the secretary of the what's it called, of the student council. She shows up and talks with them. Yeah, I think I don't think that's the most recent episode.
So I watched that one, and then the one after that was where they were like walking through all these tunnels and they were following this river and trying to figure out how that cool system that she like came up with from hearing the giant like bell
like
sound.
Imagined,
yeah, that whole like underground system that they have. She was able to fully realize what the world is that she's in and how everything kind of connects together. And it was really cool seeing that episode. I had a good time with it. Yeah. Might not have been the most recent episode, but that's the one that I watched most recently.
I'm really liking the show. I hope that because you know, obviously it's one of those shows
on the last episode.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, it's like one of those shows where like obviously like it's not really like about the plot, right? You know, so I hope it got enough, because I would love to see just more of this, right?
Yeah.
So I hope it still gets enough, like I guess, attention for to warrant a second season, because I'd just be down to hang out with the girls making
Science
anime.
Saru is such a cool ass company, anyways. Like they have made some really cool shit with the what's the director, Masaki Yuasa?
Yuasa, yeah.
Fucking great. Yeah, I also watched Bofuri. I think that was all that I watched. No, Haikyuu as well. Haikyuu is still fantastic, and this is the point that I wanted to bring up earlier too. So Haikyuu's fucking great. This latest episode, we got to see kind of Kageyama figuring his shit out, and just the team is coming together in a real ass game, and it's cool seeing it happen. Fucking love the show. Anyways, Kate decided she wanted to watch Haikyuu, and she started. But she started on season 4 on accident.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Kate for being the dumbest person in the world.
And she's told this story so many times. She feels so dumb about it, but
yeah, so she really watches all season 4.
She watched all of it and gets stuck on an episode. She's like, "What? This isn't. I thought it was all done. Like, shouldn't? What the fuck?" Yeah. Then she realized she watched all of season 4, and I'm like, "How do you watch a 4th season of something and they don't even introduce the characters or fucking anything like that? They don't even focus on them."
And Kate's just like, "Blah, I thought they were going to do a flashback or something, or a flash forward. Blah. It never happened, Kate, you dummy."
No, she thought that they were going to... It was just one of those shows that you kind of have to pick up, because there are some like that. But usually they're pretty fucking bad anime, in my experience.
Yeah. My favorite thing, the joke that came out of all of that was, we make fun of Kate because she's very impatient about things. So she, like... When she wants to watch something, she wants to watch all of it at once. Like, she refuses to, like, go week by week. Right?
Yeah, she binges that shit.
So we were laughing because we were just like, I can't, like, you're the worst at this. And Kate, you went to season 4, and then Trip, like, yeah, she was so impatient to watch, all of it. She went straight to the last season, because, like, she said, fuck 1, 2, and 3. I don't even need that shit. Like, I'm just going to go straight to the end.
It's pointless. But yeah, now she's rewatching the beginning of it, and she's like, this show's so fucking good. And I'm like, uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. She's loving it, which is awesome. Yeah, good for her. It's a good show.
But
so
man, I just feel like season 4 is so different on a lot of levels, because like Hinata, the main character, he's really chilled out because he's paying attention to everyone. He's like analyzing shit for the first time. And in the beginning, he's just this little fucking monster that's just a ball of excitement and energy.
He just wants to jump high.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you got a totally different character than you should have. He's insanely interesting right now because he's just staring at shit. So you must have been like, oh, so this is the character that just analyzes stuff really well.
Girl, if you knew who this was, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the fuck? It's hella funny to see that, though. So yeah, anyways, I am also watching Bofuri. I maxed out my defense or whatever. They got attacked by multiple people. They're doing a thing. They're doing an event right now where they're protecting like their orb or whatever. And they got attacked by multiple people and had these huge ass battles. And it was super fun to watch and really, really fucking good. It was just well done. Great fights. Pretty cool seeing like Maple, main character, come out and do some of her crazy attacks that people aren't aware of. Like her turning into a battle mech shocked the fuck out of some people. They're like, what the fuck is that? Why did she turn into a battle mech? Meanwhile, she's just like fighting amongst everyone. So you could see everyone doing cool shit. And it's cool when you get to see these characters that shine for a little bit interact with other characters in like a different way. It's exciting in any anime. Like it's just doing that formula really well in a medium that I tend to like more than others, which is just this over the top, full of fun and joy video game with some ridiculous characters. It's a good time.
Yeah, man, that's what's up.
And then 22/7, which is that idol anime. What are you doing over there? Eating Mike?
Did they disband?
Yeah, so 22/7 disbanded.
No, I have tickets for their concert.
It's okay, man. Coronavirus, it would have been canceled anyways.
Oh, true. Yeah. Not Anime Expo though.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll fucking see. Yeah, it was really funny watching this episode because they all disband. And then they're like, what the fuck? And one of them was like, yeah, well, I'm going to go back home to America, I guess. And I got to do
One's
this.
American? I didn't know that.
It's a fun show. Whenever she says stuff in English, it cracks me the fuck up. She's like, okay, mother, I'll talk to you soon. And then she goes back to Japanese. But it just like fits in little lines like that. Very direct and clean and clear. And yeah, so they're dealing with their disbanding and everyone's going back home and nobody's happy about it. But it cracked me the fuck up because I'm like, what's happening in this show? The whole business is shut down. Like the whole building is just closed now. They shut everything down.
Just like we're shutting shit down here.
Yeah,
boom.
shutting it down.
Topical.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think all the anime that I've been watching, just a good time. I love anime.
Okay, before we get into the news, because we were talking about shit getting canceled, it is crazy to me that the fucking Tokyo Olympics is for sure going to be delayed, right? They're like, hey man, we're not doing it this year. We're going to push it back.
Yeah.
But there is no fucking word about Anime Expo.
I know, right? It's nuts.
It's blowing my fucking mind.
It's nuts.
There was one comment being like, hey, we're going to keep an eye on this. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'd like to know.
I kind of want to know as well. Well,
so
I guess we'll see.
Jesus. Anyways, you want to get into the news?
No, of course I do. So recently we watched a show called Beastars, and it said second season coming soon. Soon is going to be 2021. The date was just announced.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, which just means
it's like almost 2021 anyways. Like we're almost there.
Pretty much. I mean, we'll just be inside for most of this year anyways, so it's going to be pretty neato. Next up, a lot of Fate fans probably already know it, but Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel 3 Spring Song, the North American premiere has been canceled due to the coronavirus.
That's not a surprise. Bummer for all the real Fate fans out there. But it, in all honesty, it's probably for the best, right? It's not good to have people gather in huge groups.
Oh, it totally is.
So maybe they'll make it available somehow, over streaming or like renting or stuff if you really need to get it. Yeah, that sucks though.
Yeah, I guess a very weird piece of news here. The Croc Will Die in 100 Days is going to receive an anime film. It's a 103-page 4-coma manga. And it's getting a movie. So, are you kind of into it now? Do you kind of want to know?
I was kind of trying to multiply how many panels it was. If it's 4 times 103 pages, right? It's like, how many drawings is that?
412?
That's crazy. And they're going to make a whole movie out of that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited. I don't know. It's got a dumb name. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it went number one trending on Twitter, and it was also just insanely popular since it was made. So we'll have to check it out, I guess.
Yeah, we got nothing else to do.
Exactly. Those of you that skipped our Violet Evergarden episode, be pleased, because on April 2nd, which is like in a week, Violet Evergarden side story is coming out. So that's the one that we got to see. So yeah, check it out.
Good for you guys. I hope you sit down and enjoy it. It feels great.
It's great. I mean, it's just like a long episode. It's like 2 long episodes.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Check it out. Something that's important for us, I actually took a day off next month so that we could go see Made in Abyss, Dawn of Deep Soul. But of course, all theaters are shut down, so it has been postponed due to the coronavirus.
We had tickets for that.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have tickets for that?
We were about to buy them.
Fuck.
I've had the like little thing up on my phone for a while that's like, hey, what cities and stuff.
It's a real bummer. I really wanted to watch that. But again, it's for the best. Stay home. Wash your hands.
We'll watch it soon. I'm really curious what's going to happen with movie theaters.
They're going to have to blow them up.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's really nothing else they can do. Like, I mean, there's other places like restaurants and like even bars that are able to like still kind of have their business open in a safe capacity. Movie theaters, essentially, you know, there's no way to make that safe unless you're going to be like, hey, come to the movies, but then like make people 6 feet apart from each other. Why would anybody ever do that? You know? So it's like,
yeah.
It sucks. But I mean, for now, like in the times that we're living, they're just going to lose a lot of money. They're just going to have to be closed. Sure. So fucking lame.
Big lame. That's all the news that I have for you.
All right, man. Let's talk about this week's topic,
which is
Inuyashiki.
Inuyashiki,
the live action movie.
Yeah, Inuyashiki. is a 2018 live action movie directed by Shinsuke Sato, who also made I Am a Hero, which is one of our early episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, and we really enjoyed that from what I remember. Like, I fucking really liked that movie.
It's pretty up there on both of our rankings. Maybe the top, maybe not.
I'm pulling that up right now. I want to see. No, okay, so it looks like it's second on both of ours.
Okay.
Our number one ranking on live action garbage is still the Erased Netflix series, which is really good.
I completely agree with that then, yeah. I forgot. Really I always forget about that one, man.
Yeah, it was so good you forgot about it.
Yeah. Well, because there's also the movie.
Yeah, which was not that
no
good.
Bueno.
No bueno.
Yeah, so anyways, Inuyashiki, where would you put this on your list of things?
Oh, you want to rate it right off the top?
I think we've gotten more into the style of saying how good it is, so I think we should just rate it right off at the top.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. So in my order, the very top is Erased Netflix series, I Am Hero, and then Gintama the movie, and then another. So
okay.
I'll tell you something. It's for sure better than another. Because below that's Kids on a Slope, which I like just because I'm a huge fan of Kids on the Slope.
Sure, yeah, I get that.
But I think this looked a lot better. And I, like I said, like I know that we were talking about it a little bit beforehand. I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna go third, so above the Gintama movie.
You know what? If I were you with your list, I would put it there too.
Okay. So here's your list. Here's what it looks like. Your list looks like Erase the Netflix series, and then I Am Hero, Gintama, Kids on a Slope, Anohana, another, which is and then Erase the movie. Bleach, the Netflix movie, Full Metal Alchemist, the Netflix movie, Mushishi, Elle Saves the World, Death Note 1, Death Note 2, Orange, Death Note, the Netflix movie, Mob Psycho 100, Netflix. God, that was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I don't even know what that is. Kakegurui? Oh yeah,
yeah.
It was miss.
I figured it was autocorrect or something.
Fucking then the Future Diaries of Another World, or on High School Host Called Drama, King's Game, Death Note Drama, Attack on Titan, and then at the very bottom, like always, Devilman.
Hey man, can I just say something really quick? We have watched way more live action shit than I remember, and it's still bad every time in some way or another.
I think we went through a slump of like doing 2 episodes of live action garbage in a row for a while because like there was nothing going on.
Yeah,
like I said, we haven't watched live action garbage in a long time. The last thing we watched might have been the Kids on the Slope movie. I think.
Huh?
Where's Bunny Drop? We did a live action Bunny Drop, right?
I remember we talked about it. We did watch it.
Fuck yeah, absolutely we did. He's like running. He's running. He's like, "Where's my child?" And he's running.
Oh yeah, he looked like nothing like the Bunny Drop guy.
Yeah, and she didn't look anything like a bunny.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know where we would rank that on there. It's somewhere up kind of near the top, probably. We'll
rank that. We'll
rewatch it and rank it.
No, we're not rewatching it. We're gonna re-rank it later. But in your opinion,
number 3, Inuyashiki, number 3, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you fucking genius!
I love how your top 2 are my top 2, so it's super easy too.
Yeah. Well, it only got down
was
to
really good though. I think I prefer the comedy of Gintama, but this movie looked a lot better.
Yeah, no, Gintama did a good job of it being Gintama through.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, our small knowledge of Gintama, we're like, that's Gintama, like, but like, it looks cheap, right? It looks kind of like
exactly
a lot of live action movies look like.
This one finally made like, I mean, coming from I Am a Hero, like there wasn't a lot of CG stuff in that we noticed, at least. In this one, it's very obvious CG because the whole plot of the show is 2 motherfuckers get yeeted off of the face of the earth and put back together as robots. So their robotiness is very apparently CG, but it looks almost realistic. They did such a good job.
You know what? I want to say that there was points where, and I think it's the first time he's like turning into a robot in his room, that it looked kind of cheesy in the face, and I think it's because of the lighting. A lot of it was the light.
That's exactly what it was.
I noticed that later on when there was more shots of like, Hero or what's his name? Inuyashiki? Is that his name?
Inuyashiki.
Inuyashiki, whenever they transformed or did their things, the lighting was a lot darker, or it was like in broad daylight, but there was a lot of blur, like motion blur, like them flying through stuff.
Yeah, which looked good.
Which looks great. Like it kind of reminded me of, I'm not saying in like spot on, but it gave me vibes of like those early Transform movies, like those Michael Bay Transform
I didn't
movies.
want to be the one to say it, but it was exactly that. It was
Doesn't
exactly
it look like that?
It was,
Okay, good. But like when you think about it, like that, that CG maybe doesn't hold up the best now here in the West, right? But that CG for a live action anime movie from 2 years ago is fucking killer. Because for some reason, they can't get it right.
Don't know why, but whatever.
Yeah.
All I know is that this legit, the whole time I was thinking, not just the animation, but the actual movie kind of felt like Transformers, where it was very low stakes without very interesting characters. They were all very one note, and that's fine. That's just what it is.
How dare you talk shit about Shia LaBeouf?
Okay.
The deepest character ever.
Hey.
Sam Witwicky, it's his name forwards and backwards the same way.
I take it back. Megan Fox was a very diverse character.
Dude, yeah, she was hot chick. That was her character. Dude, I love.
But there's so many different kinds of hot chicks. So
I love when there's like a new like super attractive person that pops up in the film industry,
like
and
every movie suddenly. Yeah.
And the thing will be like, no one will ever like bother to learn her name, but they'll be like, yeah, man, the hot chick from Transformers. It took me like, I don't know, maybe like 2 movies for me to finally learn her name. That also happened with Margot Robbie when she was like, oh yeah, dude, the hot chick from The Wolf of Wall Street. I was like, yo, okay. She was Tina. Okay. Oh, Tanya. Okay. She's a great actress. Tanya. I'm not saying Megan Fox isn't a great actress, but yeah, for a long time in my group of friends or people around me, she was just the hot chick from Transformers. But yeah, this movie did miss. This movie was missing a hot chick from Transformers. That would have made it the perfect movie.
But yeah, I felt like it was very Transformers like. So it's interesting that you brought that up too. Even if it was just about the CG, I feel like it did a lot of things right as far as Transformers go. And I'm not a fan of Transformers. I wasn't a fan of this movie, but as far as live action movies go, this shit blew me the fuck away. Like, it was live action adaptation of this anime that I watched like 2 episodes of, and they did such a good job with the movie. Holy shit.
Well, I know I wanted to watch this when I saw the trailer, because I did watch all of the anime. Yeah. I remember that like when this came out, I know you weren't really feeling it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's the same guy that does Gaunt's, and that's why I really like him. Like the guy, like the original manga is the same guy that does Gaunt's. So I was like, I was into it. And I had my issues with the actual anime. The actual anime did this thing where it was like, it was 2D animation, and then whenever they would do their super like robot mode bits that they would come into, it would go to this really gross looking like 3D animation that felt really out of place.
Yeah.
So that really like, bummed me out. And
that was my biggest turnoff, and that's why I didn't watch it, because it was kind of an interesting idea. I also didn't like how the whole family was just a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, they're like the world's biggest dicks. Yeah. And when we get into spoilers into the later half, I do want to talk about something like at least a comparison between like the anime, this, and the manga, right?
Yeah.
But as a whole, like sitting here, like I enjoyed it. I thought that the story was easy enough to understand, right? I do hear what you say, that the characters weren't the most developed. They weren't really all that fleshed out. But the action I really liked. I felt like the dialogue felt very real. It was like, I mean, I did watch this, on Kiss Anime or whatever. So like, the subs were done by God knows who. But I thought I was able to follow along pretty well. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot. And then like after sitting down, like I might have enjoyed this more than I actually enjoyed the actual anime, because the CG here looked a lot better, and I like the fact that they casted he's an older man, but he's younger than the character they portrayed in the anime.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
In the anime, the guy looked like 1 billion years old. Like
he looked like he was like 70.
Yeah, he looked like he was like about to die in any second, which is kind of like a plot point, right? Like he is supposed to be sick.
Yeah.
And in the manga, he also looks very old. I'm glad that they toned it down for the movie because I'm like, cool. I'm a little more invested now that you're not.
Also,
like,
I didn't believe that he was a dad. Like, why would this woman marry this guy and have kids?
And you see, I think I believed it more.
Yeah,
that because he was a little bit younger.
Yep.
Because in the anime and the manga, like I for sure was like, yo, why is this old dude hanging out with this family? Like they look way too young, like, and I get there's a huge age gap. But in the movie they did a better job of that where I'm just like, okay, I still get it because you didn't watch all the anime. So like you have that feeling where you're like, But for me, it was like, okay, I'm fucking with this a little more just because they aged the character down.
I thought they aged. It was great in this.
Yeah, no,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you still kind of get that feeling, that vibe, right? Being like, why is this guy? This guy's not really a dad, right? Like,
a little bit less,
yeah,
than I did before. Yeah, because kids are a little bit older. The dad could have been like in his late 30s when he had kids. That makes sense to me, rather than being like in his 50s and had kids, which is what it seemed like from the fucking anime. Which, if you are 50 and you have kids like now, I mean, it's a little bit late, but good for you. Got nothing against that.
I mean, do whatever you want to do. But you will be judged. You will be harshly judged. So a quick rundown of what the plot is. Like you were saying, like it's about this older man who's like becomes like a superhero because he gets blown up by
yeeted off the face of the earth.
Yeah. In the anime, it's there's more time. Like there's 12 episodes, so they're able to explore a little bit more. In this one, it's kind of just like some kid just like, hey, maybe like some otherworldly power or like a higher form of being made you. So like that's what happens. Essentially, like an alien, especially because
they show that too. While they're like killed or whatever.
Yeah,
it shows like a big flash and these figures that are moving around, going like, So.
And I think in the actual like manga because I know it's like the Gon Sky and he's all about aliens, like that's his fucking shit. And I think in the manga and the anime when we hear those aliens like making those noises, we actually get their subtitles and like they say like it's. I want to remember that it was kind of like, oh fuck, we killed these guys. Oh shit, let's put them back together.
No, I think I remember that from the anime. Yeah,
like it was like it's like a bunch of like it reminds me of like a bunch of like bonehead aliens that took a joyride and like, oh shit, this isn't the planet we're supposed to hit. Damn it, we killed these two guys. I'll just put them back together and let's get out of here before anybody fucking finds out. So we missed that in the movie.
Did you ever watch the Blam?
Which one's that? Like it
was on Nickelodeon and it was a whole bunch of different short animations with like claymations and animations and some weird live action stuff. Anyways, there was Prometheus and Bob was a short that was like these claymation dudes. One of them was a caveman, the other one was an alien that was just like fucking around with him and having fun and teaching him shit. And so it would always fuck stuff up. Yeah, so it reminds me of that kind of like level of goofiness of just like, it's fucking really stupid, but then we get this pretty cool thing out of it.
Well, yeah, no, it's like a very absurd like like idea. Like
it's a very different tone.
Yeah, this old guy and this random sad boy was in a park. And they happen to die, and then it just leads them to being like these super powered killing machines that can heal anything. Yeah. So, anyways, so he kind of goes about his life to like to kind of help people, and then the boy, on the other hand, just kind of becomes a sociopath and like becomes like a murdering machine.
Yeah, more or less.
But I feel like it's like a great. I don't know. And I think maybe it's because I read some of the manga and because I watched the anime. I think it's a great idea to be like, yeah, you'd expect this kid at first to be like, I'm going to be a superhero, but he very quickly becomes like this monster and this villain.
I felt like from the movie character we got, he felt like he was already a villain from like stage one.
Yeah, like he feels like he's a very like cold and calculated person. I just saying that like when he shows himself like his powers to his like best friend or whatever, he goes, I've turned into a superhero. That's like the words he's like, that's what he like, describes it as. And I go, okay. So in his head, he's a superhero. And then like it takes a couple days or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm going to become a god. And then he's just become like a monster. And in the other hand, we have this older man who like fucking God knows he just doesn't want any of this. His life sucks ass. His job sucks ass. And he's just like, yo, dude, found out that I can cure people, and so I'm just gonna go about my way and cure people of whatever they have. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is such a like. I like that dichotomy that like, you know, this older man does one thing and this younger kid does another thing. So like I said,
very cool.
And this movie looked great.
It's an action movie at its heart. So there are a lot of moments where it doesn't have much action going on, but it really wants to be an action movie. So it does some pretty cool things. It almost feels like a blockbuster version of that found footage movie. I was trying to remember the name of it, where they like
Chronicle.
Yeah, it feels like a more blockbuster Chronicle.
Yeah, I think I feel that too.
Yeah.
I think maybe because of the way it was shot, right? Just like yeah.
Because Chronicle is essentially about these dudes that all get different, like they all get the same power from this thing.
Yeah, they get like these telekinetic powers, and they
and
all
one
go
of
their
them
different ways
goes
with it.
fucking evil, and the other one's like good and whatever. It's a whole thing.
And then the third one gets killed. Michael B. Jordan, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really good movie. And this one felt like it was doing that same kind of thing. And it's good. It's compelling. You know, you want to see.
Yeah, we were talking about, you know, the shittiest things about the movie was like, obviously his parents, like his family, like he has a son and a daughter and a wife. They are the fucking worst
for no reason
family ever. They're just so fucking
they're
bad.
Assholes for no reason.
Like as soon as I remember like watching the movie and being like, oh yeah, and I kind of get a reminiscence of the anime. And there's that scene when they're complaining about the house that their father bought for them, and then he's like, it's the best you could do. And I was like, it all came back to me. Trip. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm in store for the next. By the way, it's like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god. I'm like, I'm gonna be hating these people for the next 2 fucking hours, because for the 12 episodes, I think. Maybe for like 11 episodes, I hated them, because by the end of like the last episode, they kind of redeemed themselves, like sort of, but not really
enough for you to be like. I mean, they're not hateable, but they suck.
Yeah, no. At the very end, it feels more like, oh man, like they're still bad people, but like maybe they'll get better, kind of vibes, you know?
Okay,
but
yeah.
But in this movie, I was like, no, they're just kind of fucking dicks, and like for no fucking reason. Dad fucking prepared sushi with caviar, and they're like, nah, we're gonna have meat. And I was like, yo, dude, I wish my dad would give me sushi and caviar, you know? Never had caviar. You had caviar?
Nah, I never wanted caviar.
I want to try it. I don't think I'd enjoy it, but I would like to try it.
I mean, I already know I won't enjoy it, is kind of why. I don't like a lot of seafood, but sushi's good.
Yeah.
But if it tastes very like salty and briny and oceany, not for me, dude.
I don't know. I get it. But I'm one of those guys that wants to try anything, you know?
I want to try a lot of shit, but I already know how I feel about that just because I've tried a lot of seafood thinking this one will be better. And I had never gotten that. I'm like, raw seafood has worked out pretty good for me.
It's like, why do they cook it? What were they thinking?
Yeah, I don't know what happens when it gets cooked. It brings out like all the metallic tastes of shit. Like I can't fucking do salmon.
Damn, I love salmon.
I know people do. My palate is just not made for that. I have this weird ass palate that doesn't know how to handle shit.
Trip's palate's more reminiscent of like a $5 box at Taco Bell.
Yeah, is that what it is?
You get him one of those, and he's fucking ready to go.
That's not at all fucking true.
No, you know what I really like?
What?
The ahi steak. I'm a big fan of ahi steak.
Well, ahi is totally different though.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. Ahi's so good. I mean, it's a kind of tuna, and tuna is the least fish tasting kind of fish. Yeah. So yeah, I fucking get it, dude. Yeah, that's all right.
Glad you get it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're so now that we're done talking about seafood, let's just.
I thought that's what. Okay.
Let's just say what we our final thoughts, and then kind of go into spoily bits or things that I want to talk about. Because I know that you don't have too much to say about this.
Final thoughts: don't watch it. It's a live action garbage. There's no need to watch this.
Final thoughts. I think that the anime, I still really enjoy the anime. If you're a fan of the anime and the manga, and you just you have 2 hours to spare, pop it on. It's not a movie that I could recommend to anybody who's not a fan of this existing like media. It has made me want to go and continue to read the manga because there's gaps and stuff. But movie wise, yeah, it was very well done, surprisingly, right?
Yeah. Surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah, to our super fucking shockedness. Like, it's crazy how well they fucking, were able to make this movie. But yeah, it's not like a must watch kind of thing. So yeah, that's our review. Now we're going to talk about the spoily bits I want to talk about.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so the end of this movie, like, it ends with our main character defeating Hero, which is the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have like a big fight in like I think the Tokyo Tower, and like he saves his daughter, and he throws his daughter off the building, and
Hero throws the daughter off the building.
Yeah. And then I think he like super boost flies and like punches the fuck out of him and like breaks his arm, I think, and maybe like a hole through his chest.
Yep.
And then he saves his daughter, heals her, brings her back to life, and then goes back to saving other people. That all happens in the anime. Like, that's the thing happens. Like, the big fight in like Tokyo Tower, and like him saving people, and people not knowing it's him that's saving people. Yeah. They call him like the Miracle Man or something.
Yeah. Which I think is also really cool.
Yeah. And this movie ends with like, there's like a news report, like they're all sitting at their table, and like, the dad doesn't say anything, the daughter doesn't say anything to the dad about like, they don't really talk about it. The parents, the mom and the younger brother kind of go away, and there's like the news reports like, the Miracle Man, he's still out there, blah, blah, blah. Like, what's he doing today? And he's like sniffing miso soup because he can't actually eat it,
Yep.
And it cuts to credits, and it cuts back, and then we see Hero in like the room of his best friend, and he's like, was it like wearing like a hoodie because he's covered up, and there's like an announcement or something that like, there was an announcement that he had died, but they actually didn't find his body.
Yeah, and it shows these like FBI agents that are just like, well, what the fuck do we want to tell him, or like whatever.
Yeah, and so like,
how did we tell him that we found parts, but we don't know where he is?
Yeah, so he has a moment where like he has like a talk with his best friend, and like he's like, it's kind of like tenuous, where like oh, is he gonna kill him? What's the situation here? And like he kind of says something like, oh, you've never really changed, you're still the same guy, and like he kind of just disappears off into the mist, and like, like you don't really ever see him again. And that's how the movie ends. I think what they were doing is they were setting it up, from what information I gathered, they're setting this movie to be up some sort of trilogy, because there's more story to tell. And I was like, okay, well, in the anime, all that happens, and then a kind of a bunch of like, feels like nothing happens, or like a time jump happens, but then there's a big crisis at the end where like there's a giant meteor coming to Earth that's going to kill everybody. Yeah. And our hero, with the help of, the bad guy
hero,
yeah, goes up to space, and like they blow it up, a la fucking, what is it? Apocalypse? No, what is it called? Those fucking, that movie that's like, where the plot is that they go to an asteroid and blow it up. I think like Ben Affleck's in it or whatever.
I want to say it's Final Impact. Or Critical Impact or something.
Something like that. Something Impact, right?
Yeah.
So that's how the anime ends. But I remember like, watching the show and being like, that ending felt really weird. Like, it felt kind of like out of nowhere, kind of forced, right? And I was expecting the movie kind of end like that. I expected there to be a scene where like they go and destroy the fucking asteroid, and that never came. And then finding out like they're thinking about making this a trilogy, that just means that has to be more source material, has to be more manga, which leads me to want to go read it, because I'm reading Beastars, and I was like, well, I mean, might as well read more stuff, especially if like I want more answers. If there were like, say they do make two more, because people always talk about making things all the time that never kind of happen. Mm-hmm. If they were to make a sequel to this, I think I'd watch it, because I don't really know what's next besides like the ending where they blow up the Earth. But who knows if it happens? So that was just something I wanted to point out and like discuss. Like, I guess they made, because you were also telling me before we start recording, you're like, hey, isn't the ending a little bit different? Which I think is funny that you were able to catch on that, because you didn't watch anything besides the first 2 episodes.
No, but you had told me that the ending was some fucking crazy shit, and I definitely remembered that.
Mm-hmm. And the ending here was just like, oh, he just kind of disappeared off in a distance, kind of very Zorro of him, to fucking
felt weird.
Yeah. So that was different. But yeah, I don't know if there's a trilogy or like a continuation, at least a sequel. I think I'd watch it. I don't think I'd make you watch it for an episode.
Yeah, but, I would. If you watched it, you would be like, "Hey, watch it."
Yeah,
because I was interested. I just needed more character development. So if they have that, then I'm down.
Yeah, and if it does come out, it can only. I mean, obviously, it can only come out in the future. So their technology for their CG could hopefully only get even better. Maybe it'll be more like, at fucking Transformers, the Fallen as opposed to Transformers 1, like that's that level of it, of animation or whatever, of CG. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Besides that, honestly, there's nothing really else to spoil because, this is an anime that's been around for a while now. So that's it, man. That's all I really want to talk about.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this, honestly. It surprised the hell out of me. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. It looked really good. My biggest complaint is all the characters are boring as fuck. They didn't flesh them out that well. They gave, I think, the best character was probably the friend who winds up being best friends with the bullied kid, and then he becomes best friends with the guy who's gonna kill the bully kid. And I think
the reason he was the best character is because he felt like a real person, right? Like he didn't feel very like one tone, like like Mari, which is his daughter, was just very like, I hate my dad. It's just like, but why?
He just felt like the most reasonable person. Everyone else seemed like they had to be written this way for one reason or another. And I don't know, man. With him, he was just like, I don't like what my friend's doing. Hey, you're killing people and that's fucked up and I don't support you. Don't come to my house.
Yeah.
And then next up, he's like, hey, so my friend is the other guy that got killed like you. I'm going to teach you some shit that he was doing. And then taught the good guy.
I honestly can't remember if that's a part of the actual anime or not.
Okay, well, I feel like it didn't need to be. If it were the anime, I feel like it would have done a better job at just being like, hey, here are the different parts of like learning it, and they learned different things.
Yeah, I think that, because like I said, I mean, I can't be 100% sure, but if this were something that they added into the movie, it was for sure a device to speed up the process of being like, okay, cool, this is how you use your powers, as opposed to having like 4 or 5 episodes of him learning how to fly, or like you're learning how to like use his sonar or like his blasters or shit. Like obviously, like if this is a thing that they put in there, it was put in there to speed up everything. And I really liked it. I liked him being that sidekick character.
He was a good character.
Yeah,
I mean, only second to the hot chick in the movie, Hanako.
Yeah, Hanako.
Yeah,
was that the dog?
It was the dog.
Nice.
It was a great dog. They did a good job with the dog casting. I felt like it was calm as fuck.
And they made it look a little older, like it wasn't like a fresh dog,
Yeah,
so it's like, oh, cool, this dog's seen some shit. This dog understands.
This dog's chill.
Would for sure vibe with that dog.
Oh, I would pet that dog.
Yeah,
I'd give it a little scritch behind the ear.
Well, that's the show. Do you know what we're doing next week?
Next week, we're talking about another anime-related topic. Tune in next week. No, I don't know what we're doing. It's really hard to decide what we do ever. And it's even harder when I'm trying to figure out what my work situation is, because I could be like committed and be like, let's just fucking go for this show, and then we can. But
don't fucking try to backpedal. You're trying to get out of the fact that you didn't watch Better Call Saul. You said you would.
I want to watch it really bad.
You're a fudging liar, bro.
I thought about that a lot.
Tell me you're not a fudging liar.
I thought about that a lot on Sunday.
How
I fudging lied.
Well, anyways, we're not going to be talking about Better Call Saul next week. I'll tell you that right now, because this man cannot be relied upon.
Are you trying to get me to watch it next week? Is that how you're trying to do it?
No, fuck you.
Well,
it's
working.
No, I don't want you to do whatever you want. God, how does reverse psychology work again? All right, we'll figure out what we're doing next week. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. You see, I totally skipped over Turkey Tops because he doesn't have a fucking Turkey Tops anymore.
I'm sitting here like, holy shit, this is happening.
You see how I matured? How I growed? I fucking changed, bro.
You growed, dog.
Don't even mention the fact that Erin from TurkeyTops.com is where we got our logo. She's not there no more. Anyways, if you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. Hey, Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instagram Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instagram Podcast. If you want to send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast benefit.
And you could send us an email, instantRamenPodcast at gmail.com.
At email.com.
And fucking tell us what live action garbage you want us to watch, because there's a lot of shit out there, and like we have a large list of it, but we never watch live action shit unless we're like, we really need something. Let's just watch this one. So if there's something out there that you're like, this one's fucking terrible, I want to see you guys watch it. Or this one's surprisingly good, I want to, share it with people. Share it with us. Shoot us a little recommendation.
Yep. Or just email us what you're doing on your quarantine. Let us know how to stay sane.
Oh, yeah. I'm not.
Okay, so this is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Social distancing, bro.
It's very important. 6 feet apart, wash your hands.
No, we said wash your hands last week. This week, just don't even touch anything.
Don't even touch your hands.
Don't even touch yourself.
All right, well, I can't be a part of that. All right, man. We'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah, just add hot water or whatever. Bye.